Alright, there is no point in burying the lead here. Donald Trump has repeatedly demonstrated an inability to take any sort of accountability whenever anything goes wrong around him. Imagine being the CEO of a company or even a manager and somebody beneath you making a mistake and you blaming it on them in front of everybody. No, you are the CEO or you are the manager. You are the ultimate authority. You are the arbiter of what happens. And Donald Trump doesn't live by that virtue. That's why he's had 6 bankruptcies. That's why his presidency was a failure and almost everybody around him turned on him. But today, this topic relates to the Puerto Rican comments made by comedian Tony Hinchcliffe during Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. He just did an interview with Sean Hannity, and Donald Trump said he didn't even know who the comedian was. He doesn't want to know who the comedian is. He implies that he doesn't even know what the joke is, and he says that nobody vets their comedians before they let them speak at campaigns, which is completely, demonstrably false. You know, we have 1 week to go and no time to waste. Drop a like, subscribe, and let's start off with this first clip of Donald Trump saying that a young man can leave for school and just get a sex change without parental authority. It's unhinged stuff.
Yet they do it. Maybe it's because they want to destroy the country. I don't know.
Or gender-affirming care for minors.
Sure.
Care without parental consent.
So a young man leaves for school and goes to school, and the authority takes him over without parental consent, and they do things to him that you don't want to know about? I mean, is this supposed to be America? I don't think so.
That doesn't sound
These
like
people are radical people, and let me tell you, she's not a smart person. She's a low IQ individual. I've said it for a long time. She speaks so slowly. Everything's so slow. She thinks of answers. They ask her a question. She talks about she was grown up with a lawn growing on her front yard. Everything is like crazy.
I have so many things to say here, but first of all, why is the lighting so abysmal? Secondly, Donald Trump is literally describing himself there. VP Harris is very detail-oriented, so sometimes she does pick and choose her words carefully, but Donald Trump is a slow speaker because he has a childlike understanding, a childlike grasp of the English language. And finally, Republicans can only deal with straw men of Democratic arguments. A straw man is when you take the weakest version of someone's argument, or you argue with an argument that doesn't even exist whatsoever. For example, Donald Trump here claims that VP Harris wants kids to be able to get sex changes without parental authority. Kamala Harris doesn't believe that. Tim Walz does not believe that. I don't believe that, and most people watching don't believe that a 14-year-old should be able to unilaterally get a sex change. What we do believe is that a 17-year-old, after multiple years of therapy and with the consensus of a doctor, a psychiatrist, a parent or a guardian, and the child themselves, that yeah, a 17-year-old should maybe be able to have some sort of puberty blocker, some sort of procedure that you can have a conversation about that without the government stepping in. Nobody wants 15-year-olds to go and get operations. Also, Republicans always claim that Democrats want an open border and that we just really want criminals to be shipped over here en masse. Nobody wants that. Democrats also want a secure border. Democrats just want people to come over here in a safe and healthy manner and not have to wait 10 years. People should be able to come over here and live a better life en masse and not have to come over in this unsafe way. Also, even with guns, no one wants Kamala Harris to kick down your door and run in your house and steal all of your guns. We think that you can have common sense gun ownership as long as crazy people don't have access to ARs. All of those are good examples of how Republicans only deal in straw men. And now, let's go on to Donald Trump talking about comedian Tony Hinchcliffe taking zero accountability, and this just gives me flashbacks to COVID. It just gives me flashbacks to COVID. Every time something would go wrong, Donald Trump would blame everything around him and refuse to take responsibility. And we've seen this a lot over the past 4 years, of course, but it gives me a lot of flashbacks to COVID.
I don't even know if you were there for the whole thing. I don't know what time you got there. I was told and made aware that you had no idea about this comedian who made comments.
I have no idea who he is. Somebody said there was a comedian that joked about Puerto Rico or something, and I have no idea who he is. Never saw him, never heard of him, and don't want to hear of him. But I have no idea. They put a comedian in, which everybody does. You throw comedians in. You don't vet them and go crazy. It's nobody's fault. But somebody said some bad things. Now, what they've done is taken somebody that has nothing to do with the party, has nothing to do with us, said something, and they try and make a big deal. But I don't know who it is. I don't even know who put him in. And I can't imagine it's a big deal. I've done more for Puerto Rico than any president, I think, that's ever that's ever been president.
Just what an absurd way to end that clip. And usually a good, effective CEO, somebody like President Barack Obama, who is a great leader, would always say, the buck stops with me. But Donald Trump is always saying, the buck stops, I guess, anywhere else but me. That's what Darren Haber said in the replies. And there's a few things that I'm thinking when I'm watching this clip. Donald Trump genuinely said that he doesn't even know who Tony Hinchcliffe was when we have reports that Donald Trump has to have final approval of all acts. Tony Hinchcliffe had a teleprompter that he was reading the entire time. The Trump campaign vetted the routine. And also, it's okay if you like edgy comedy, but you can't do this at a political event about 10 days before the actual election. A mainstream event in Madison Square Garden where there are already rumors, already Nazi comparisons. You can't just have an edgy comedian go up there and say wild stuff about black people carving watermelons. So Donald Trump is lying. Don't believe him for 1 second. But even if he wasn't lying, that is a stunning show of incompetency from the Trump campaign and not somebody that we'd want in a leader. Now, in this next clip, Donald Trump says, I didn't even know who put it. I just want to play this one more time. Just
John has taken somebody that has nothing to do with the party, has nothing to do with us, said something, and they try and make a big deal.
He has nothing to do with the party or nothing to do with you. He was the opening speaker at a massive event at Madison Square Garden that happened 10 days before a high-stakes election. You know, can we just compare this with the way that VP Harris speaks? She spoke at the Ellipse today, which, keep in mind, is the exact place where Donald Trump spoke on January 6th, before the rioters stormed the Capitol.
Look, world leaders think that Donald Trump is an easy mark. Easy to manipulate with flattery or favor. And you can believe that autocrats like Putin and Kim Jong-un are rooting for him in this election. I will always uphold our security, advance our national interest, and ensure that the United States of America remains, as we must forever be, a champion of liberty around the world.
When she says that Kim Jong-un wants Trump to win, she's not kidding. Look at this impression.
Yes, my good friend Putin, good friend of Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We're going to make sure he wins so that my good friend can take over Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
And after Ukraine, he will take Moldova and all the countries that used to be the USSR. Mm-hmm. And Russia shall be great again.
Why not all of Europe? Just take all of Europe.
That's the second step.
That's the second step. Now, in this next clip, Donald Trump brags about throwing paper towels at Puerto Ricans. It's just, there's no bottom.
I was there handing out food. I got in trouble for that too because we were having fun. We had a lot of people, and I was throwing paper towels to the back. They were all having fun. Everybody, and the fake news came. Oh, that was very disrespectful to be throwing towels. No, I have unbelievable good relationship with Puerto Rico and the Puerto Rican.
He has unbelievable good relationships. You heard it here first. And the lighting makes his skin look extra orange in this segment. In this next clip, Donald Trump talks about Elon Musk.
Role for Elon Musk.
So Elon has a lot of roles he could take because he's a very exceptional guy. But he has a thing. He feels there's such waste, fraud, and abuse in our budgets. And he's right.
You know, something that scares me even more than the idea of Donald Trump getting power, because, you know, he's lazy, he's getting old, is the idea of somebody like J.D. Vance being the vice president, somebody like Elon Musk being in charge of our regulatory agencies and therefore making tens of billions of dollars, or even somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy cutting our government by 70% as he has floated many times. All of these things absolutely terrify me because these people are a little bit more smart and slick, at least J.D. Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't know about Elon Musk. They're more smart and slick than Donald Trump. Oh, and how could I forget RFK Jr.? Watch this clip from Donald Trump's rally in PA just a few hours ago.
Out of our food supply. Today I'm adding that we are going to tackle the exploding rates of childhood depression, suicide, and pediatric cancer. We have numbers that other countries don't have. We don't just want to manage these problems, we want to prevent them from happening in the first place. I will assemble the best and brightest minds, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
A sentence never before spoken on this planet. Nobody has ever put best and brightest minds in the same sentence as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and peace out.